Do you have a plan for when a nuclear bomb strikes? Do you know the correct immediate actions to take for your safety? Welcome to History Shorts. I'm Courtney Short. And in the early Cold War, Americans actually did have emergency preparation plans should a nuclear bomb strike their hometown. Frighteningly, in October of 1962, America came danger close to having to use those plans when the Soviet Union built missile sites in Cuba. In this time of crisis, the 310th Strategic Aerospace Wing was called into action. The Cuban Missile Crisis began in October of 1962 when U-2 surveillance aircraft identified several missile sites under construction in San Cristobal, Cuba, to include several medium-range ballistic missiles as well as bombers. In response, President John F. Kennedy and his advisors began holding tense, closed-door meetings. The American people learned of the threat through a presidential address to the nation delivered on the evening of October 22nd. But earlier that same day, the Joint Chiefs of Staff had raised the defense readiness condition to 3. What this meant was that an increased regional threat required increased preparation. President Kennedy spoke directly to the role of the 310th Strategic Aerospace Wing, with their B-47s and Atlas missiles charged with the mission of delivering a secondary retaliatory strike.
It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response upon the Soviet Union.
That evening, a recall was issued for all personnel to return to base, and the airmen of the 310th Strategic Aerospace Wing returned to Schilling Air Base. But they would not stay in Kansas for long. In a flurry of urgency and practiced precision, they would prepare the B-47 to include arming it with nuclear weapons and fly it to Port Columbus Airport, a civilian airport in Ohio, which was an unlikely target and one located farther north. It is from there that men like Jim Griggs, a B-47 navigator with the 310th, would spend the duration of the crisis on ground alert. 310th Airmen that were serving on overseas rotational tours were not left out. Lieutenant Bobby McCall Jones tells his story.
My crew was told to get our flight gear together and report to the control room for immediate alert duty. We were assigned our target briefcase, studied the information and briefed our commander, then went on alert duty ready for war. Our eyes and ears were glued to the radio and TV during this time, with no practice alerts.
At a crucial time in the nation's history, our 310th Airmen valiantly answered the call. And in today's ever-changing world, the 310th Space Wing expertly provides combat-ready airmen that respond in record time to critical events around the globe.